So, welcome to our 2020 Slay Squad kickoff call. We are super. Oh, hold on, guys. Sorry, I just saw the. Do you want to record it, Alyssa? Oh, you got it. It's already recording. Awesome. Yay. So, we are all super pumped because, first off, we are kind of revamping all these Slay Squad calls. We are making sure we are providing you with just super valuable content in a way that also values your time. And so tonight we were like, how do we kick this off in a way that they can get little tangible bits and pieces from each of these top coaches that they can easily take back to their business in the shortest amount of time possible. So we're running this as a really kind of rapid fire where we're giving some of our favorite tips that have really changed our business. So I am kicking it off. We're all going to do a 2-second introduction. My name is Holly Hillier, and I have been coaching 5 years now, which is insane because I feel like I started yesterday. And most importantly, I am a mom to a 3-year-old Sam and an 8-month-old William. So total boy mom here. And one of the biggest things in my business is I'm going to kind of start off by talking about vision and how I take that vision into a tangible morning routine. So it's the beginning of 2020, right? I know all these teams, we have been doing vision board parties and goal setting. So you need to, at this point, have that vision in front of you, okay? So I made my vision board on Canva, and I have it on my digital planner so that I see it every single morning. So first step, right now in 2020, you need some sort of vision board. For me, I have it digital because I use a digital planner to do affirmations, gratitude, and I'll talk about that with my morning routine. If you are not using something digital, you can still make it digitally. You can use magazines, whatever. The important thing is with these vision boards isn't this one-time activity. I'm going to set a goal and create this vision for my life and never see it again. You need to see this vision board every single morning, okay? It's great. Create vision at the beginning of the year. You hit Success Club or miss Success Club 1 month, or you miss some goal, and all that goes out the window. You need that as a daily reminder as to why you're going to make your failures into learning experiences and not those things that set you back. So that's number one. All right. Now I've got my vision board in front of me. My morning routine is imperative to my business. I was just on a call and Melanie Mitchell was talking about her morning routine, and I was shocked. I was oh my gosh, we literally do the same morning routine. And Melanie is not my upline. I'm not on her team, but I was and Melanie, when I started, 4-time, top coach, I was this is my organization idol. And so success leaves clues, and there is a reason why a morning routine is imperative. So again, first thing I do, I get up, I get my Energize. I get up at 5 a.m. every morning. I'm still breastfeeding my son. He still wakes up once a night. So it's not I'm getting a ton of sleep. It doesn't matter. My alarm clock is set for 5 a.m. If you haven't, I would suggest reading the Miracle Morning or the 5 a.m. Club. Something that is some sort of personal development that is going to help you realize how important these morning routines are. So reading one of those is really important. I get up, I drink my Energize. I then read personal development, and depending on the amount of time you have, depends on how much you read. But every single morning, you can get on your phone. When I was working my full-time job, I would get on my phone and I would set a timer for 10 minutes. That was it, 10 minutes. But 10 minutes to feed my mind with something really positive. Also, in this time, I turn off, when I go to bed, my phone goes on night mode. So when I wake up in the morning, there are I don't see any notifications. I don't turn on my phone. I literally wake up, turn off my alarm, get my Energize. The first thing I'm fueling my mind with is a personal development book. I also, as I have a little more time in my morning routine lasts from about 5 to 7 when my kids wake up. I do personal development, and then I also have business development books. So again, depending on the amount of time, and I would say, if you only have time for one book, to kind of rotate them. So 1 month personal development, 1 month business development. So a business development book would be something like I have like a marketing book by Seth Godin, another one about like customer service. So something like that. But I'm always reading and fueling my mind first in the morning. Then I open my digital planner, I look at my vision board, and the very next thing I do, and I actually do have a Rachel Hollis, like start the day gratitude journal. I don't even use it. Get up for a year. I've gotten out. This is just blank sheets of paper. And I start with gratitude. So I'm thankful for my 2 healthy boys. I'm thankful for my supportive husband. I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful for a growing business. I'm thankful for the freedom to work anywhere. And again, it's whatever literally I'm thankful for that day. Some days I come to one, I'm like, I'm thankful for such a beautiful day outside, right? Just small bits of gratitude. So I write at least 5 things I'm grateful for, and then affirmations. And it's so funny. People are like, what is your affirmation? And I'm like, what do you, they're like, what affirmation books do you read? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because my affirmations are so personal to me. So my affirmations are things that are pretty much come from my vision board. So in January, one of them, I'm a 3-time top 10 coach. I am enjoying Bora Bora with David, who's my husband. I'm attracting incredible leaders to me. Wealth flows to me in abundance. I'm watching my boys play outside our home in a beautiful, safe environment. So these are things that I want in my life. The important thing with affirmations is I am a 3-time top 10 coach. This was January. Was not a 3-time top 10, right? These are things that I tell myself every single day. So I'm reminded why I am working towards them. And some of them can be monthly, yearly. Sometimes I really suggest reading the 12-week year. So I always have my quarterly goals. I have my end of year goals. I have 5, 10-year goals. So depending on where my mind is kind of focusing that day, those are the affirmations that I write down. But that is my big morning routine. And then after that, I usually write my post for the day. No social media influence has gotten in my head. I didn't see some other coaches post. There's no negative message, no no's or ghosting. It is literally waking up, fueling my mind with positive things, creating my dreams on paper, and then writing my post for the day. And so I just want to encourage you guys to start with a morning routine that fills you up, because I know for me, getting that post in the morning, I don't necessarily post it then, but I'm writing it because at 7 a.m. when my children wake up, it can be chaos, right? The rest of the day. And by the evening, when my children are finally asleep, I don't necessarily feel inspirational. I feel exhausted and I feel like there's nothing left for me to give. So for me, I moved that to then. But find a morning routine that works for you and do it every day. I don't take Saturday off. I don't take Sunday off. And I don't want to take those days off, because this makes me the best person, not only for my business, but for my family. So, all right, I am passing it over to Alyssa to talk a little bit more about mindset.
Hey guys, so Hill, that was amazing. And as always, I always call you Hillary. I always call you by last name. I don't know why, but I just do. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna talk to you guys about that one big thing, because as you guys know, Holly was talking about vision boards and having like all of these ideas, and sometimes you like don't know where to start. And so I've been reading this really incredible book, and it's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. And it really has you focusing on one thing in all different areas of your life. And so the different areas are spiritual life, physical life, your personal life, your relationships, your job, your business, and your finances. And so for me, I'm somebody that's like super scatterbrained. And so I have been like using this book for the last, I don't know, year or so to kind of plan what I want to do so that I feel really accomplished. Because how many of you guys start out to accomplish all these things, and then at the end of the year, like we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish, okay? This goes along great with the 12-week year, because for some of you, maybe your goal is income driven, maybe it's rank driven. Stop chasing 2 different birds with 1 stone and focus on one thing that you really want to achieve so that you feel that success within your life, okay? The second thing that kind of goes along with this big idea of the one thing is stop multitasking in your business, okay? So I know that we're all busy, and I know that we're all trying to be, you know, quote unquote productive with the time that we have. But here's the thing is that we have to start time blocking the time that we have and using the time to accomplish the one big thing, okay? This goes along with kind of eating that frog in the morning. So here's an example. If your goal right now is to become a diamond coach, your activities should be aligned with coach recruitment. Everything that you're doing in your business as far as that one big thing should be about sponsoring new coaches. So don't go chasing, you know, new challenge groups or, you know, building out a website or focusing on a blog post or doing a freemium or any of those other things, because that's just all busy work and things that don't really matter in the ultimate goal of achieving diamond. The third thing that I want to just add into this kind of one big thing, and I'm kind of summing this up quickly because we've got a lot of us going, is to go big. Something that I read that I thought was super cool was Guinness actually rented out their space for 9,000 years when they got started. They were playing big from the beginning. They had a big mission. This wasn't about this month or this year. This was about the legacy that they were going to create in their lives. And so when you guys think about this big thing, I want you guys to think about big, right? Do you guys know that when J.K. Rowling was writing Harry Potter, that she sat for 7 years thinking about Hogwarts and what it was gonna feel like before she wrote her 7 books? So we've been around, a lot of us, I've been around now for almost 7 years, it'll be my 7-year anniversary. I'm looking at Barbie, she's been along for a while, and I will tell you guys that this is such a long game. And I want you guys to play big. I want you guys to set big, audacious goals with your life, because when you set big goals, you achieve big things. If you're gonna set your goal for right now and say, oh, at the end of the year, I wanna be a diamond coach, oh girl, you could do that in like a week, 2 weeks time. And so I want you guys to think really big, audacious, crazy, crazy goals when you guys go and set your dreams. And I'm just gonna leave you guys with this, is don't fear big, fear mediocrity, and fear living your life until the ultimate fullest. And I think I'm passing it over to Lauren, I think. So you guys are amazing. Go big or go home.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. That is awesome. I love your energy. So hey guys, I'm Lauren, and I am going to be talking to you guys about sharing even in all the situations of life. Okay, so this is really important to me because we hear a lot of times that life is happening and this is out of my control, and I can't figure out how to do this business because all of these things are happening. And I want to just encourage you, I don't care where you are on your coaching journey, those are the things you should be sharing. I want you to think about those things that happen that are out of your control and how you use those as your messaging. I want you to think about the things that you can control, like how you respond to them, how you act. I want you to consider how your fitness and nutrition fits into that and it makes your life better. And that's how you show people, I can do this business because I am moving. I just found out we have 2 of the similar topics. So Ashley Smith is gonna, really rally. But I wrote all this out for you guys. I really think it's important that you're relatable. If you're always perfect and you're always got this filter on and you've always showing the highlight reel, you are so not relatable to that mom who is dealing with the baby that's spitting up on her, or the wife whose husband is traveling, or the mom who's trying to hold down 2 jobs and get kids to soccer. You have got to share the relatable things and say, I get it. This is life. This is how I overcame this. Be super positive. Share your story and that you have a test, but then share the testimony side, how you overcame it. What steps did you take? What books did you read? How you're being inspired, your routine, how you totally flipped it around on its end, and how you changed your trial to your triumph, your mess to your message. I know you guys have heard this, but What I don't want you guys to see, and I'm going to wrap up really quickly, what I don't want to see from you guys is complaining about your circumstances, going out there and whining about all these things that are out of your control. I want you to look at everything that is happening in your life as an opportunity to share and add value to people. I'm a military spouse. My husband deploys. I've built this business while moving multiple times. I did meetings in soccer fields. I've done workouts, wherever I can, in hotel rooms. We've traveled. We've made it work. And that's part of my messaging. I share that part because that's important and people want to hear that. I share the trials of raising teenagers, the things that my family's gone through. I will tell you the best conversations I've had are with people who needed to hear, good, you're just like me. I can relate with you because you get where I'm coming from. So new coaches, seasoned coaches, everybody on this call, no excuses that life is happening and you can't blank. Life is happening, and that's why you should. There's more material right there for you guys to be sharing through all of this and sharing what you are learning, how you are growing, how you are still able to take time for yourself, and proving those people who are like, I don't have time, wrong. Because you absolutely have all the time in the world to change your life and use your mess to be a message to somebody else. Okay. I don't know who is next because I can't. Yay!
Hi, everybody. My name is Val Bozzo. I am a mom of 3 girls. I built this business over the last 6 years, military wife, crazy busy schedules, as I'm sure that most of you guys can relate to that as well. But my topic tonight is going to kind of have to be something that is planted really, really deep in every single one of you, because you're going to hear all of these things from all of these amazing coaches. We are paired together to bring you such amazing, topics and energy and, business tactical advice. But the one thing, if you don't have belief in yourself, if you don't find the confidence in yourself to actually do these business practices, actually build this business, actually go out there and recruit and build challenge groups and talk to people and invite and do that tracker and have all of the things that will parallel you to create this massive success, you're not going to get ahead. Okay? I found early on in my business that I was doing all of the things. I was checking off all of the boxes that I was told to check off. I was doing those posts, but those first few months in my own personal business, I did not have that confidence or belief in myself to actually find my way, until I remember reading these personal development books and, just really feeling like, wait, I believe in these products. I know that they work. They have transformed my body, my mind, my life. Why am I finding it difficult to share these things that have changed me in such a deep way? I was comparing myself to other coaches who half of them are on this call and I'm peers with now, right? Where I was like, oh my gosh, I know that they, at the beginning, they make more money than me. They've been here longer than me. They're so good at what they do. That comparison game would make myself not believe in my own abilities, when in turn I was like, no, wait a minute. We all start in the exact same place. We all have to grow that foundational piece, and we all have to do the work on ourselves first to create the belief, create the vision, create the confidence to go further than we have ever even believed possible. Okay, so I'm just going to challenge every single one of you guys to, if you are comparing yourself, if there are negative thoughts, if you're on this call and you are like, oh my gosh, all of these people, like, they're so much more successful than me, or I couldn't share that I only made $40 this paycheck because I know some coaches make way more than that. Or I am only at Success Club 2 this month so far, and I know that there's other coaches out there who are at Success Club 100. If that's your mindset, stop right now, okay? I want you to put your blinders off on and run your own race. I want you to set these goals, take all of this advice tonight, and understand that you are worthy, you are capable, you can do this, and I promise you that digging deep, finding that belief within yourself, staying planted in the personal development. Holly already nailed it with the morning routine and your vision. It has to be in place, and you have to understand that belief is going to take you those 9,000 years. I think I saw someone post in the comments of coaching, because this is a longevity thing. It's not just a quick fix. All right. So that's my speech. I'm not sure who's next.
It's me. I have this ghetto setup to live stream to my team because they maxed out. So hopefully there's not an echo and you can hear me. Okay. So hi, you guys. I'm Brittany. I am like Alyssa. I've been a coach for almost 7 years, approaching the 7-year mark. And so for me, when we were brainstorming topics, we're talking about like our best advice or like a turning point in our business. Like for me, I really had to talk and want to talk about just, I was going to time myself. Establishing non-negotiables and time management, which we all know I cannot fit into 5 minutes, but I'm going to give you like my best. Like I'm going to give you my thoughts, my advice. If you were my little sister starting her business on January 6th, what I would tell you. For me, you know, I've been in the business, I guess, for a while now, approaching 7 years. And I say all this in love, but when we talk about non-negotiables and we talk about time management, I find that a lot of times, like with time management, we find these convenient excuses to kind of bond with other coaches. It's like, we very rarely bond over our strengths. We bond over our weaknesses. Like I'll see people in pods say, oh, I'm really terrible at social media, or I can't get my following above this certain thing, or I don't invite enough. And it's almost like this claim to like bond over the weakness in our business. And I'm not saying I haven't been there. I totally have. But a turning point in my business where I decided, you know what, I don't want that to be the song that I sing for another year. I don't want that to be the story that I tell. I don't want that to be a roadblock in my business that I just continue to allow as almost a pedestal to like keep myself safe. And so it's like, if you're finding yourself with these convenient excuses that almost like get you in the message pods, or like the conversation is easy when you're talking about the negative things, like cut that out, because that's exactly what's holding you back. And all of us are at this starting point this year. We are all at zero. We're all at 0 elite points, or whatever it is that your goal is. You know, we're all at $0 earned for 2020 at the beginning of the year. You know, we all start at that same spot. And so it's like, I think I want to say, like, acknowledge that sometimes we use our excuses as these convenient ways to fit in or to have conversations or to feel safe. And so maybe you need to challenge that. My second thing is like making a decision now, and this is what, you know, sort of changed in my business, is if you were to take yourself out of the equation. You know, if you were to take yourself out of the equation, you're not necessarily talking about what you do as a non-negotiable every day, but what if you were mentoring somebody? What if you had a team of motivated coaches who need this for life change? You know, they need business success to make a difference in their life. What would you be telling them? Like, what would your mentorship look like? And take yourself out of the equation, because I found we're much more likely to give somebody else the real sound advice that we need to hear ourselves. But it's so funny because we won't take it from ourselves. So take yourself out of the equation. January, take yourself out of the equation. What would you be telling those people on your team? Whether it be a friend or a coach or a downline, whatever. What would you tell them that needs to be their non-negotiables? It doesn't need to be, my non-negotiables don't necessarily need to be yours. And hear me out, I fully back the business trackers, the success trackers, I fully back them. But if that's not a reality for you to check off every box every day, then get over it and figure out your own non-negotiables. Because for me personally, I've never invited every single day, ever. But you better believe I'm inviting a lot of people a few days a week, you know? So for me, my non-negotiable every day might not be invite, 5 people, 10 people. But for me, it's going to be a weekly non-negotiable. So figure out your non-negotiables for yourself. It really is that simple, because we all know the saying that's maybe a little cheesy, but it's the motivation that gets us going, and it's the discipline that keeps us going. And so if you're not willing to be disciplined, if you want to hang on to those convenient excuses to be, to have something to talk about in your message pods, you're going to continually be disappointed or feel burnt out in your business. And I know I felt that way. So establishing non-negotiables and really getting a hold on time management is totally within your grasp. And so Kim Carver taught years ago on something that has always stuck with me. And it's actually how I work my business before baby, during pregnancy, newborn life, toddler life, etc. How my business has evolved. I've always used this concept. I'm not going to say it exactly, but it was actually like an emerald or a diamond training, but he really talked about identifying the one big thing like Alyssa talked about. What is the one main goal? And then figuring out 5 to 8 daily activities that you can do to get yourself closer to that goal. So 5 to 8 daily activities that are going to get you closer to that one big goal. And do not lay your head down at night until those 5 to 8 activities are done for the day. And it's as simple as that. And the people that get behind or feel overwhelmed or burn out are the ones that continually let the sun set on not getting those behaviors done day. You know, we all know how it goes. It's like one day turns into 2 days, then 2 days turns into 2 weeks, you know? And so it's really establishing the non-negotiables in your life and having the discipline, because you have the why power, having the discipline to say, you know what? I'm not going to let another year go where I keep these convenient excuses. I am going to get a hold of my time management. This is as simple as my time management started. And this was me before kids. This was me when all I had to take care of was a Rottweiler and 2 cats. I, you know, adopted Brendon Burchard's high performance sort of planning. And this is what I used every day as a half sheet. It is as simple as this. You can screenshot it if you really want to, but you could probably make a much better one for yourself. Like for me, it was like, what are my 3 projects for the day? Who are the people I'm going to reach out to? Who are the people I'm waiting to hear from? And what are my priorities? That may have been taking the cat to the vet. It may have been business related. It may have been you doing a team call, whatever. And this is what I used every single day. It was as simple as that until I figured out. And now this is my practice no matter what. And so now what used to take me 10 hours will take me 4 hours because I've mastered my own version of time management. And so adopt other people for sure.
A lot of meetings.
As you learn, but you have to do the work yourself, you know? So establishing non-negotiables and really getting a hold on your time management is key. Brendon Burchard also says, I didn't really plan for this to be Brendon Burchard plug, but he says to put your passion where the profit is, and you're a business owner. And so you need to put your passion where the profit is. And so doing non-negotiables is putting your passion where the profit is so you can build an actual business. For me, like at one point in my life, that looked like using my iCalendar and scheduling out exactly when I did my invites, when I did my posts, and like it was very detail oriented and it was very structured, and that worked. And then when my life changed, I created a mobile system where it went on a clipboard, and I brought this around my house, and I just did a little bit at a time. And now it's more like chunks of time. So figure out what's going to work for you. But it's got to happen. You know, you have to adhere to your non-negotiables, and you have to practice time management and let go of the convenient excuses. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, I think it's me next. You guys will have to excuse my horribly sick voice. I have been so sick. Anyways, okay, my name is Ashley Smith, and let me set my timer too, because I'm a talker. Okay, I've been a coach for 5 years now, just like Holly, and that sounds crazy to say because it feels like it's flown by. But so just like Brittany said, you know, we were talking about topics and things that we wanted to share about that we felt strong in, or things that have been like a strong suit of ours. And much like Lauren and a couple other girls that I'll share later on, one of my things has kind of been that consistency of sharing within every stage of life. And mostly I want to talk about it more in tune with social media. Because you guys, we're at the beginning of a year. Everything is a blank slate right now. No matter what, something is going to come up this year. Something in your life. It could be something big. It could be something small. You are going to hit some kind of roadblock, whether big or small. And it's going to affect you and your business and your mindset. And you have to be prepared to stay consistent above all else. And I say that because over the last 5 years of my coaching journey, we have gone through so many things, from cancer, from deaths in the family, to horrible divorces, to sickness. I mean, just to so many different things, that stuff that I just never could have experienced or ever thought that I would experience. However, it all happened throughout the years that I brought my team to be a top 10 team, which was so crazy to me. But the one thing that I can see that was a consistent as I was looking through all of that is being super, super consistent and showing up and being real and honest on my social media. You guys, it's not only our job, but it's an actual gift, like such a blessing that we have this as our job. We get to show up, and how amazing is it that, yes, we have this company behind us that gives us programs and products to help us support people when they need help from us. But before that even happens, we have this platform to be able to reach people and connect with them and create this connection and relatability with them that would never have happened if you didn't have this opportunity. And so what I want to encourage you with at the beginning of this year is to go ahead and make a decision now that no matter what comes up in your life, no matter what comes up in your family life, that you are going to continue to show up, be real, create connection with people, show up every single day. It's 10 times easier than it was when I was a new coach. We didn't have Instagram stories or anything like that. But now it's so easy and so simple for you to share real and relatable things. So create a routine of how you're going to create that relatability with your audience, with your potential customers. How are you going to let them into your life every single day? One of my things that I've always said since I was a new coach was, okay, I was like, I'm not about that selling thing. I'm not about that inviting thing. So I'm just going to share my story like it's a journal. And that was like my phrase that I always said. And it sounds so silly and so cliche now because I've been saying it for 5 years. But really, when I wake up at the beginning of my day, I do a very similar morning routine to what Holly shared. And then I go into just sharing my life. I want people to come to my social media and feel like they're getting to open a page into the life of Ashley and get to feel like if they wanted to be a coach, could they come to my page and see what that would look like? Could they come to my page and see that I'm a mom of 3, I've got a newborn, I'm sick, I've gone through a lot of ups and downs. Can they see themselves in my shoes? Can they see that they could do this too, no matter what is going on in their life? And so that's your job, you guys. Not only is it your job, but it's a gift that you have that ability to share how you get to use every facet of what we have with Beachbody, the personal development, the relationships, the workouts, of course, and the fitness, and the ways that it's changing you and your life. If you were to rip that all away, I think that's my number one biggest pet peeve is when I have coaches who come to me and something comes up, that roadblock keeps creeping up, and it immediately stops their consistency, and it immediately makes them think that this is the thing that they have to take away. And I cannot plead with you more than I am right now. Do not let that be the case for you this year, because the one thing that's honestly going to help you get through most of what's going to come at you this year is your Beachbody community, are the things that you've learned through personal development, are the amazing relationships that you've had. I don't know about you, but I'm sure a million of you guys would comment in the comments and say that you've made friends for life since becoming coaches. But that kind of connection and that kind of life change that has happened in each of your hearts because of personal development and you working on goals you never thought you could before, because I know I've been there, that is the kind of stuff that's going to keep you around and keep you moving forward through all the different things. So as you get started this year and as you start focusing on sharing your story and sharing your journey, it doesn't have to be big and scary. Just share little bits and pieces. And I don't mean share every single thing that you're not comfortable enough to share, but show up every day, you guys. That consistency is what matters. Consistently showing your morning routine. I can't tell you, after doing that for 9 months now, really super consistently, I have people who have learned what a devotion is and who've learned who Jesus is, and people who have learned what personal development is, or who have wanted to buy this or buy that because they're just watching me share. You're not preaching, you're not trying to shove something down their throat, but learn how to be an influencer, which is what we are. But you can share your story in so many different ways by just walking the walk and just showing them what that looks like. Let them see a little bit into your story by opening up the backstage pass of your life, right? I think Bonnie Ingalls said that a while back, like my life, when you share your life like you're on your stories, it's like a backstage pass. And that's so true. So as you share every single day, I want for you to constantly be thinking about that. What am I sharing? Can I go a level deeper? Am I still holding back? Because oftentimes that's the one thing too, when I have people who are having a really hard time connecting with people, I challenge you guys this year, let this be your year that you peel back another layer and get a little bit more vulnerable with people, because you'll find that is where the sweet spot is. That's where the goodness is of this business. And that's where you get to connect with people, create amazing, amazing, I would say connective tissue, but you get to create that connection with people that is just lifelong, and it creates this avenue for you to be that person that they come to when they're ready. So that's what I'll leave you with, because I can barely talk anymore. See y'all.
All right, can you guys hear me? Am I good? Oh, Alyssa, can you see my face? Okay, I can't see my own face. So yay, I'm so excited. I'm gonna basically just bring home everything that Ashley just said. My name is Ashley Feld-Dyson. So I actually started this business when I was 21 years old. I had just picked up my entire life. I had moved out of my college house where I was living with 6 girls, and I had moved into my boyfriend's parents' basement. He's now my fiance. Do you want to mute? Good. So I came into this business when I was a teacher. I was also a grad student, and I had an hour-long commute to work each day. And so for me, I came into this business not for the business side at all. I came into it because I watched my coach show up as a nurse, and I was a teacher not getting results, and here she was showing up for 30 minutes a day, and I was commuting to work an hour each day, and it just fit into my lifestyle. And so I fell in love with the workouts, I fell in love with the nutrition plan, and I truly fell in love with this business. I looked at my coach and said, if she can show up in the midst of her crazy 12-hour shifts and show me what I'm capable of, I can show up and help other Ashleys of the world see what they're capable of. And so I got started and I fell in love with this business very quickly. But then I struggled really bad. And so I really wanted, my big thing for you guys is to help you not make the mistake that I made and just to really take home what Ashley Smith was talking about. Fun fact, my name is going to be Ashley Smith in 8 months. So I want to talk about having fun, really finding art in the actions of what we do in this business. I fell in love with this business because of taking care of myself so much that I wanted to help other women do that. But 16 months in, I quit my teaching job and I fell out of love with the action, and I started focusing on these frilly goals so much that the action I was putting in became daunting for me. I was just showing up to check off boxes, and I wasn't doing it at a level that people could relate to, not at the level of what I wanted to create. So much that just 1 year later in 2017, I almost had to go back to work. I filled out a teaching application to go back to work. But I sat back and said, Ash, something has to change. What is it that brought you into this business that will keep you here, that will get you on the level of these incredible women? I was looking up to people like Brittany Leggett and Lindsay Matway. You know, these I've been a coach for 5 years as well. I was looking at these incredible coaches, and there was something that they had that I have, and it was this ongoing burning passion in my heart to change my life, not just check a goal. Success Club happens. I'm going to say that again for you guys, because sure, Success Club is a goal, but Success Club happens when you show up to yourself, when you prove to people that by showing up in your journey and sharing that passion in your belly, that fire in your belly, by proving to them what you're capable of accomplishing with our platform, you're proving to them what they can do. And I always tell my team, there are so many things we can't control in this business. We can't control people signing up with us. We can't make people say yes. We can't control the amount of success, the points we have, or how quick we hit diamond. But we can control the things we do to get us there. Meaning, in order to hit Success Club, you have to get people to say yes. Well, in order for people to say yes, we have to show up and help them build trust with us. So we have to show up and prove to them that what we're inviting them to works. We need to be following a nutrition plan, not just to check off a box, but because we know that when we do, it makes us better, right? Following a nutrition plan makes me a better partner, a better dog mom, a better coach, a better mentor. I post better on social media. I speak better. Everything about me, when I'm in love with a workout plan, everything is just better. I lead stronger. And when we are so in love and when we're getting results, and that shines even through our eyes, through our voice, people start to build trust with us. That's what I was missing back in 2016. That's why I just fell in this straight line for 2 full years. But in 2017, I decided to go back to the beginning and figure out what it was that made me fall in love with this business. And that's what I want to pass forward to you guys. What Ashley was saying. There is so much art, there's so much beauty in the activities that we do each day. The inviting. I bet 90% of you guys are on this call right now because you were either publicly or privately invited to this call or to this opportunity. When you send an invite, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to start getting into this mindset instead of, oh my God, I have to stay here for 30 minutes and send an invite so that I can check it off on my business activity tracker. Shift that mindset and say, I have the ability to send 30, 60, 90 messages tonight to potential women who I believe in my core. I believe it without a shadow of my doubt, but I need you to believe it in your core that you have a platform, you have an opportunity that could change everything for them. You have to almost use other coaches in this network or yourself and what you've gone through as proof of what you have to give to other women. And once you believe that, guys, there's so much beauty in that. People feel that from you, and your business is going to shift. Success Club's going to happen. Diamond's going to happen. Set those goals, but focus more on what's going to get you to those goals. and I promise you, your business is going to freaking flourish. I always say, I'm going to leave you off on this. You add a little pebble to your pile each and every single day. One day you just turn around and you're like, oh my God, where did this massive mountain come from? And that's how it happened for me. And that's really how it works.
All right, so I am Ashley. We have 3 Ashleys in a row, but unlike the last 2 Ashleys who are all motivational and sweet, I'm gonna give you some freaking tough love. So when I think my biggest issue when I was not growing was that I was scared to check my online office. How many of you are terrified to check your sponsorship drill down or your volume or your success club points? Like I would never check in my office. I mean, Thursdays, it was a guessing game. I'd be like, well, I wonder what I'm waking up as today. Maybe I'm an emerald, maybe I'm not. And then when I got into the Star Diamond ranks, same. I still didn't check my downline. And every Thursday, I'd be like, well, am I going to be a 1-star, a 3-star, 5-star? Who knows? So learn from my mistake and be in charge. Be proactive instead of reactive with your business. So now what I do is I check my sponsorship drill down like a crazy person multiple times a week. Every single Monday, with a fine-tooth comb, every Tuesday and every Wednesday. And on Mondays, that's when I'm really proactive in messaging people saying like, hey, you're projected inactive. What's going on? Do you need to order something else? Like, how can I help you? When my emeralds, I'm looking at my emeralds and my diamonds to see who below them is struggling, who is going to be going inactive, how they can get somebody to sign up before Wednesday, before the clock strikes. So that has been the biggest shift in my business. For a while, I was in a lull. I was stuck at like 1 star. And I literally, a few years ago, by the way, today is my 5-year anniversary as a coach. And it's also my son's first birthday. So today is a really special day. And so I'm pretty fired up. But I was stuck at 1 star, 2 star for a few years. And then I literally went from like 4 star to 15 star in a few months. And that shift happened, that change happened because I started to be in charge of my business. So now I'm all over my sponsorship drill down. I'm trying to help my coaches, trying to be proactive. And then earlier, or last year, I was talking to Alyssa and saying like, I never check my team volume. I don't know what I'm gonna make. And that's kind of a blessing, right? I need this for the money. Like my husband retired. This is my full-time job. So I provide for our entire family and I would just never check my income. I'm like, well, I wonder what I'm going to make this week. I just knew that if I did the daily vital behaviors that the income would follow, and it did. I mean, I make a great amount of money, but I never made it about the money. But Alyssa was like, girl, you have to be on top of that. Like keep your volume tab open. You should be really visualizing and manifesting the volume and the money that you want. So I started doing that and saw a huge increase. So be proactive, not reactive. Don't wake up on Thursdays wondering what rank you're going to be or what your paycheck is going to be. Take control and you will see the growth you want this year. I'm going to hand it off to Katie now.
Awesome. Thank you. I love that your topic was right before mine because I feel like this is going to flow with a lot of tangible things. How many of you guys are creative people who feel like you have those moments where you're like, I just can't create a post because I'm not feeling creative? It is the ultimate curse of being a creative personality. So I want to talk about, I'm going to run through these rapid fire 10 tips of combating that overwhelmed feeling or not feeling creative or having squirrel brain. So the first thing, this is going to tie into what Holly was talking about, creating or developing a creation routine. So just like you develop a habit of getting ready for your workout, you have your pre-workout routine, whether that's getting your tennis shoes on and getting your clothes on and getting your Energize mixed up. And by the time you walk into your workout space, your brain knows it is time to go. This is the same concept, but for your workspace. So when you sit down at your desk or your kitchen table or whatever that looks like, your brain is already trained to be in the zone. And that could be just 1 to 2 simple things. Maybe that's getting your planner out and looking at your task for the day. Maybe that's, brushing your hair or doing your dry shampoo and just kind of putting yourself together real quick and then going and setting your work in motion, but creating and developing that routine is going to get your brain trained to be in that zone so that you can be ready to create. There's a really great book. I think the author is James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits. They have a really great audiobook as well. And they talk about keystone habits. These are the habits that create a domino effect for healthy behavior the rest of your day. So making better choices. When you work out first thing in the morning, you're in a better mood. Your endorphins are going. You want to eat healthy. You're set up better to handle life, you know, in a more proactive way, like Ashley's talking about. So these could be things like meal prepping on Sunday, working out in the morning, starting your day with morning meditation, eating a healthy breakfast. These keystone habits are unlocking your potential for healthy behaviors the entire rest of the day. When you start your day with personal development, for example, you're better equipped to work your business. You're more enthusiastic. You're in the zone of thinking of all the things that you could be doing to move the needle forward, and your problem-solving skills are on high alert. The next thing I want you to do is think about when you have the most energy and most mental capability to be creative or to do that activity. So for example, I knew that after everyone went to bed is the best time for me to email customers because they're way less likely to email me back in the moment, aka distract me, so that I could get through a ton of customer follow-up emails without having to respond to them in that moment. So thinking of when's the best time to make a video. For me, that's when my toddler is asleep because I know that my distraction level is low and my energy level is high because I just had lunch or just did my workout. Number 3 is to batch create. So create a focus to your workflow. Maybe for you, this looks like the first half of the month you focus on hitting Success Club yourself, and this last half of the month you focus on helping coach your team get there. Maybe on Mondays you make videos, Tuesdays you do follow-up calls, Wednesday you do blog posts, and then once you're in the zone on a certain project, you want to stay there. So don't do 1 blog post, do 3 blog posts in that day because your brain is already in that zone. Maybe you're creating content for IG and you're taking photos, so do what Chalene Johnson did and switch out your shirt, throw your hair up in a ponytail, boom, next picture, next picture, next picture. And then you have content created quickly and effectively while you're in that creative space. Number 4, cut out the time sucks. You know what they are. Number 5, hit your work day. That means high intensity training for your work hours. Push really hard in small bursts. I know that Brittany does this, the Pomodoro technique. You work really, really hard for 30 minutes and then you rest for 5 to 10 minutes. Get up, get a glass of water, walk around, get your brain moving, get the blood flowing to your brain again, do burpees, jumping jacks, whatever you have to do. Number 6, prioritize movement. And the beauty of our business is this is already built in for us. A lot of other entrepreneurs struggle with this, but for us, it's a given. So if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stumped, work out, work out, work out. Get your body moving and you will unlock the solution to all the problems that you're having. I swear to God, I take voice memos during my workout because I swear my brain is just going. You fire up your energy, you fire up your mood, you fire up your creativity, and just things start happening for you. Number 7, walk during calls. If you're listening to a national wake-up call, guess what? If you're not at work, you better be walking around. It creates and stimulates your brain. You have less distractions because you're focused on a task. Take your dog for a walk. Like, sure, you might have to pit stop and do the dog poopy scoopy, but your brain is more focused instead of you just sitting there staring at your computer looking at Carl. Put your headphones in and listen while you go. Number 8, do a brain dump and prioritize. Especially after team calls like this, there are a million things you probably want to do, but as many of the coaches before talked about, and Kim Carver talked about, really prioritizing the things that are going to move the needle forward for you and simplifying, narrowing it down to just a few simple tasks that are going to get you there instead of honestly putting busy on a pedestal. We all do it. Like, oh, look at me, I'm messaging and doing all these things, when meanwhile, there's no productivity or real productivity happening there. You have to narrow your focus because there is wealth in simplicity. And I will say that again, wealth is in the simplicity. Okay, guys? Number 9, structure your day based on rewards. Listen, we are literally all kids that just need to do our homework so we can go out and play. The adult version of this is running to Target. So if you want to take a bubble bath, if you want to go do something fun, you want to take your kids to the zoo, maybe your deadline for yourself is, I need to do my power hour by X amount of time, and then I will be allowed or rewarded to go. That's just how our brain works because we're human. Number 10, use airplane or do not disturb mode. I cannot stress this enough. How many of you guys have been on a live call and you had like your mom call in or something like that and you lose focus, you totally miss your train of thought, and then it's like you struggle to get back there. So use the tools on your phone, put it on airplane mode when you're in creation mode, and that way you're not getting sidetracked by all this crazy stuff that's happening. I'm so sorry that I think I'm going over my time just by a minute. I'm going to introduce Barbie Caleb now, and when I met her, she was Barbie Decker, and the cool thing is she told me one tip that completely changed my business, so I'm excited for you guys to hear her speak.
Oh my God, what was the tip that changed your business?
You know, we were talking about how many coaches I recruit, and I said, I recruit 2 a month, and you're like, oh, no. You need to recruit 3 to 5, and I was like, I can't do that, and you're like, yes, you can, and then I was like, oh, and then I just did, and then I was elite the next year, by the way.
Oh my God. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because I froze for a second. That's amazing, and that's an awesome story. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I've been having internet issues here. Okay, so my tip has to do with personalizing your personal development. You know how in our network, people are like, oh, everyone is reading the book, Everything is Figureoutable, or whatever book. And that's great. There's power in the activity of reading things as a collective. But I've been finding that what works for me, and I've been a coach for 12 years and 4 months, is asking myself, 12 years and 4 months, and we've only been around 13 years, is what do I need today? And ironically, right before, what happened? Someone is logged in as me. Okay. Ironically, right before I logged onto this call, I saw a quote by Marie Forleo, who wrote Everything is Figureoutable, a book that I bought but I just couldn't relate to right now, is become the kind of person that does things without questioning whether you feel like doing them. And so let's just face it, in this business, you know, especially when you're around a long time, you don't necessarily feel like doing certain activities. So I don't question whether I feel like I'm gonna do it or not. It's more, what I'm asking you to do is more to check in with yourself, with your heart and your mind, and ask yourself, because Ashley Feldson, you talked about the joy. So I am asking us to check in with that. I gave myself goosebumps, to ask ourselves, how do I feel? Not whether I feel like doing it or not, but how do I feel? December felt like a very tough month, people passing away, my customer, and then Mindy's husband, Lee, and then it was like a lot of sadness and grief for me. So I just, you know, it's hard to invite and to do all these activity producing things or result producing things when I just felt like this sadness in my soul. And so I was waking up and I'm like, what do I need today? What do I need to listen to or to read so that I can have a kick-ass day? And then I would go on YouTube and I would search for that little thing that I need. This morning I felt super productive, and so I searched for personal development, and I'm talking about mini tiny sessions of personal development. I still have my books that I read, and I am like Holly, I have 4 different books going at a time, but I ask myself in the morning, how do I feel? I feel motivated. Great, I'm gonna reinforce my motivation. I'm gonna look for Brendon Burchard because he's the master of productivity and motivation. And so I just get pumped up when I hear Brendon. But on days that I'm low energy, or the days that I have self-doubt creeping in, and I'm like, you know what, who wants to work with me? Because that still happens to me. Then I'm gonna look for something, probably on YouTube, for 5-10 minutes that's gonna remind me of my worth and how kick-ass and badass I am, so that when I do sit down, I can go ahead and do my activity and do it with in a wonderful state, so that I produce amazing results. And that's really all that I have for you, is ask yourself, how do I feel? Basically do a mindset check in the morning or whenever you're gonna work, and then check your heart. How do I feel? How's my mindset? Search for something quickly. Don't go down a rabbit hole. Get your 5, 10, 15-minute personal development, and then get to work. Thank you so much, you guys.
Hi guys.
I am going to try to keep it short and sweet too, so I'm going to time myself so that I don't go over. My name is Nikki Whiting, and I've been a coach for almost 7 years, which is so crazy to say. I was like former teacher, now have 3 babies on this postpartum journey. So hi. I'm going to dive right in, and basically what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is just really like being the coach that you wish that you had, or if you do have a great coach, being that coach and duplicating that kind of system. And we've had so many great nuggets on this call, so I hope that you guys can take something away from this. But I think it's really important to know that whether you're, a veteran coach or a newbie coach, especially you newbies that are on the call, is that you guys just simply have to show up for your team. And that means, like I said, being the coach that you want to have, or maybe you do have an amazing upline who's already setting that example. But I do know that many of you feel like, I don't know, at some point you're on this lonely island. Maybe your coach has taken a back seat, or they've quit the business or whatever, and you have this like grandma upline coach that works the business, and maybe you didn't have every single tool that you wish you had when you signed up, and you feel like that hindered your success. But I am here to tell you guys that you set that example, that you are in charge of your success. You're in charge of your income potential. You're in charge of your rank potential. You're in charge of how your team flourishes. And so if we're going to be the coach that we wish we had, the first thing that we have to do, and you've heard it over and over again, no matter how different these topics are, is that we have to show up daily on social media and just share our journey. I mean, it's as simple as that. We have to complete a program from start to finish and get results. My least favorable months in my business are when I'm not excited about a program, or I'm just kind of like winging it, and I'm just picking whatever I want from BOD, and I'm kind of iffy on Shakeology, and my meal plan is average, and I'm average. I'm average in my business. I'm average in all those things. And so when I dive in and I get excited about a program start to finish and I start to get results, guess what? People show up because you're bringing people to you. Just like they said that Success Club is like a component that just happens when you're doing the things. Because when I'm doing these things, I'm attracting energy. I'm attracting other people who feel like, because they have related to me on some level, they can do it too. So whether your coach is showing up and doing that, you need to be showing up and doing that no matter what. The other thing is to create or find the tools that you didn't have when you signed up and bring those to your own coaches and your own downline. So maybe you feel like your coach didn't give you everything that you needed, then you make sure that they have that. When I'm on any kind of new coach getting started right call with my team, I tell all my new coaches, if there is something that you wish that you had that isn't included in maybe my new coach training or a welcome email that I send or whatever it is, then you make sure that your team has it. And I want them to share that with me. I want them to post that in my team page. I want them to share that information, because honestly, you guys, sharing is truly caring in this business. This is a business where it really does take teamwork to make the dream work. And so make sure that your team has it. Share those creations with your team. I can't ever understand when, a successful coach has awesome tools and they're almost being selfish with it and they're not sharing that information, because when your entire downline flourishes, you are more likely to flourish, and same for them. So if you don't feel like your coach shows up the way that they should, maybe on calls or creating trainings or whatever you feel like is lacking, then get together, lock arms with other coaches, lock arms with other leaders, and make that happen for your team. And again, share all of that information so every single person below you doesn't feel like a lost soul. They all feel like they're included on some extent, because you're giving them every single thing that you can, whether they're your PS coach or not. And it's important for you to honestly take ownership. And I shared that out, at the beginning in your business. Instead of blaming your placement in your downline or your upline for what you haven't done in the business, Instead, I need you guys to level up. It's 2020. It's a fresh start. You have to allow that instead of, unmotivating you, take that and allow it to fuel you, make you better, make a better coach out of you, make yourself a better mentor, make yourself a better leader. Like whatever you felt like was lacking. Oh, that's me. I'm over my time. I'll be over in a second, I promise. Be that person. Fuel it to make yourself be better. Make that a goal that you're going to do that in 2020. But just remember that your downline is going to do as you do. And so if you want a team that's recruiting, you better get to recruiting. If you want your team getting results, then you should be following a program and showing them how it's done. Doing the vital behaviors, you're checking it off every day then. Building volume, then you should be showing them how to build volume. If you want them hitting Success Club, you better believe that you're showing them that Success Club is possible every single month. All of those things. And you have to believe that it really does start with you as the example for all of those things. So showing them that all of these things are the standard, but also it shows them what's possible when maybe they didn't feel like they knew what was possible. And I don't know who's after me. I think maybe Jen?
Yes. Hey guys. Can y'all hear me okay? Hopefully I'm doing it from my phone. I've never used these AirPods before. I just jumped on that bandwagon. So mine is actually super, super quick, guys. So just really quick, I've been a coach for 5 years. The whole entire time I was a teacher or a master's degree, I actually thought that I would be doing all of it forever. Had no intention on ever like quitting my job, but then 2 little lines popped up on a pregnancy test and everything changed, and here I am full-time coaching it over here. So what I want to share with you is actually kind of a piggyback off of what Nikki said. Doing those things, find people who are doing those things, and that's who you link arms with. Like if I can give you like the biggest tip that has brought success in my business, it's finding the people who are achieving the things I want to achieve and plugging myself right into that circle and taking a really good hard look at who you're allowing to influence you. My coach, which is Val, she spoke earlier, she told me early on in this business, she said, you are most like the 5 people you are surrounding yourself with. So in business terms, what other 5 coaches are you surrounding yourself with? Are they achieving the things that you want to achieve? Are they going the places you want to go? Or I'm going to put a positive spin on this, are they just not so much? You have to evaluate those things because whether you realize it or not, it is absolutely influencing you the same way you're influencing people every single day. So make 2020 your year to link arms with those people who are doing the things and going where you want to go. I heard a quote one time and it said, don't seek mentorship from those who have not achieved what you're trying to achieve. So let's spin it positive. Seek mentorship from those who are doing what you want to do. They're hitting the goals you see yourself hitting. They're emulating the success that you want to emulate. Those are the people that you want to link arms with and find. Like link up with a success partner. It makes such a difference when you have someone in this business in the trenches with you, doing the things with you, holding you accountable, not letting you make excuses, and lifting each other up to that higher standard. So if you're one of those people who's like, oh man, I really need to evaluate my circle, there's like over 500 people that have been trying to get on this call tonight for you to choose from. So there's business builders out there, and don't be afraid to go plug yourself in. I think the biggest mistake coaches make when they come in this business is, oh, I felt so alone, I couldn't find someone. Take the responsibility, take the ownership, find people who are doing the things you want to do, and go get plugged in. So that is my tip. And I actually, I am tossing it over to Lori. So you guys have a great night.
Hey, you guys. So first of all, I'm proud of y'all for still being on here. We know this call is going over. So I've been a coach for 7 years, and I'm still listening to a lot of these and taking so many good takeaways from them. And so much so that I'm like, okay, well, do I need to change up what I'm going to talk about? And that is really just about creating consistency, creating conversations, keeping it real, because what's going to happen is you're going to get off this call and you had taken away all of these topics and all of these tips, and you're going to go try to figure out what these coaches are doing in order to be successful. And what happens is you start to not become authentic to yourself. I will tell you, I love creativity, but I will never make graphics as pretty as Ashley and as Katie do. And so for a while, I used to stress myself out thinking that I wasn't a good coach because I couldn't come up with these pretty graphics, these pretty presentations. So what I want to remind you is to find the things that you are good at and don't focus so much on the things that you're not. Because if you're constantly trying to be like someone else, you're going to attract the people that aren't going to help you build your business because they're not your people. Those are someone else's people. So as you start to think about when you get off, okay, well, how am I going to find these business builders? Or I already have people coming to me saying, but they're not working. What do I do to get everyone working this year? You find the people that are just like you that you can truly connect with, you can relate with, that you can help to partner up with to grow together. Because if you're so focused on being someone else, you're not going to be who you are that the people love now. So one thing that I'm always just adamant about is showing up on my social media being the most authentic version of myself that I can. Half the time I don't look put together. Half the time I look crazy. I talk about all of my flaws, but I do that because that is what makes people connect to me. They know that I'm always late. They know that I'm unorganized. They know that my doors are always open. And this is where you can create these, true, authentic conversations with people just because you're like, hey, does anybody else feel like this? Like my daughter, for the last 2 days, all we've done is a book report that is due to school tomorrow when she goes back. And I can't tell you how many conversations start from just like, oh my gosh, I do that all the time too. And you think, well, what's the point? What does that matter? What matters is that is where you start to create the real relationships and connections with people online that allow you to eventually move into the opportunity of saying, why don't you do this with me? People aren't going to sign up with you because, maybe you did have some amazing transformations, but people will join you and believe in you and grow with you because you have created genuine relationships that weren't built on, hey, let me sell you something, but let me just talk to you. Let me give you a tip that helped me to be a little more organized. Let me show you how, I'm able to use this air fryer nonstop to help try to figure out healthy meals. So when you get off and you're trying to think to yourself, okay, what do I need to do now to start being better? It's not, let me go be more like Nikki. Yes, that is always a goal. You want to be better. You want to be all the things, but you want to be able to be a better you, but taking the little tips of where you need to work on your growth, not taking someone else, because again, you're going to attract their people, but making it more of a version of you and inviting people to join with you as you try to improve on that as well. So try to keep it short and sweet and hope that helps.
Hey guys, sorry, it's the middle of bedtime here and they know I gotta be on something, so they don't want to sleep. But so I have extra guests tonight, but it's all good. So I am Sarah McKee, and in my past coaching life and still very casually, I'm an RN, and I've been coaching for about almost 6 years, close to 6 years now. But throughout my coaching journey, throughout those 6-ish years, I have gone through infertility, a miscarriage, a divorce, a spouse with addiction, become a single mom to a newborn and a toddler, and multiple family deaths. I've faced it all, and I've shown up through it all as a coach. And here are 3 things that I have kind of written down that I think help continue to allow you to run a business through the hard times. So number 1 is that you must know the one thing in this business that brings you the most joy and 10x that. If it's your workouts, don't just do them, show up and share them to the 10x degree. If it's your PD, 10x that and 10x that when you share it. If it's a community, 10x that. It's okay to step away from the things that stress you out and don't bring you joy in these seasons, as long as you're still giving 110% to something, especially something that makes you feel good. So many people message me saying, how can I help others when I can't even help myself right now? And I usually always respond saying, by you showing you other people how you're caring for yourself through this season, even such a little tidbit as PD or talking to the friends on this team, that's helping them. Our job here is to serve other people, and that's going to look different through all of the seasons, but it never stops. We never stop serving. It's just going to look a little different along the way. Number 2 is figure out something in this business that makes you feel proud. Do you feel super proud of yourself after checking off a list?
If so, start very small. Pick 1 to 2 tiny things that maybe you don't love to do, but you know you can do. Do them, cross them off, and be super proud of yourself. Is it having a plan? Maybe each Sunday you sit down and you write out a plan for your week, and once that plan is done, you're proud of yourself. Maybe it's following a meal plan, and you successfully do that Monday through Friday. Do that and be proud of yourself and share those things and how you are proud of yourself along the way. Because during hard times, I think we constantly feel defeated. So controlling the controllable is key, but finding the things that bring you joy and pride are essential to keep you lifted up. And then lastly, have a plan to restart. It isn't healthy, in my opinion, to be plugged in messaging people when you're grieving something very difficult. That's not normal. You want to be normal and you want to be real, but don't set yourself up for going down a tailspin of a really, really dark hole. Set yourself up for a fresh start. So give yourself that time frame to unplug, to digest, to be human, but then give yourself a date to pick yourself back up. It doesn't have to be 100% again, but just get started no matter what degree you do it. So that's what I have.
Hey guys, Sarah, I love that. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, okay, awesome. I'm Elizabeth Hartke and I'm closing us out. I know we went late, so I'll try and be to the point. I wanted to share with you what my husband got me for Christmas this year. He literally got me a giant vase, like huge cylinder vase of rocks. And I wanted to share why. This might sound morbid or weird to some people, but this is how my husband and I think. He got me these rocks and got me enough rocks for one small rock that fits in the palm of my hand for every month that I will likely live. Like, let's say I live to about like 95, that's about how many rocks worth of months he got me. And the idea is that at the start of each month, I pick up a rock, I put it in my hand, I feel it, I keep it in my pocket, and I remember that our days are numbered. And those rocks represent that, because at the end of that month, that rock that I've carried around with me as a reminder of that truth and keeping that in my pocket gets thrown out, and you don't get to replenish it. And I think that's such an important thing as you go into this year and into the future, remembering that you're called to something in your life, and your days to bring that forth are numbered. And we've seen it, unfortunately, in our community. Brittany Crosby passed away at 30 years old. Lee Lawhorn lost his life to cancer, a healthy, strong guy. And we're seeing it over and over. We don't get tomorrow necessarily. So it's up to us to show up today and make that choice to be present and to use Beachbody as that vehicle to get to where we want to go. And I have to say, I used to hate going last on these calls because everyone trickles off. Like, we're down over 100 people, but now I love it because I get to see who my people are. And tonight, that's exactly what I'm talking to you about really briefly. So often we hear coaches, they want tactics. We hear coaches that want strategy, and those things are so, so important. They're crucial. But people are asking the question, what do I need to do? And how do I do it? Instead of the question, who do I need to become? And my coach for years raised me up on this truth, where I would come to him wanting the strategy, wanting the tactics, and he'd continually drive it back to the person that I was becoming. Was I the type of person that would encounter a challenge and get really stressed out and start to spiral or look at all the reasons that things are going wrong? Or was I the type of person that was becoming someone who, sorry guys, I have a cold, that rose to every challenge? And Keith would constantly drive me back to, what is that version of you that you are not yet? And this is where you have to get crystal clear on where you want to go in your life. You know how many leaders on this call are sick? We were just in the chat before this call and everyone's like, yeah, I've got, the black lung and I've got the plague and my kids have, the bubonic plague. And like, we're all going around being like, oh yeah, we're basically all like on our deathbed, but we're all here because who we are becoming are people who show up no matter what. You just heard so many coaches on this call talk about that. Like, we are the type of people that show up, not when it's convenient, not when we feel like it, because that's who we are. That's just who we have become. And we didn't start there. I certainly didn't. I still struggle with it. I am so freaking bone tired today that I think if I blink long enough, I will fall asleep talking to you. But who I am now and who I seek to continually be is someone who's consistently here. Become the person who gets back up after failure, like Sarah just talked about. Become the person who does that extra rep at the end of their workout, not the one that skips the last few because, who cares? Become the person who practices resilience, because you're going to fall down so many freaking times in this business. You're not going to be able to keep track, but you pop back up. And it's not just about popping back up, because anybody can do that if they choose to, but it's about how they view that struggle that they just went to. What can they learn from it? How could they be better from it? And how can they thank the good Lord for that challenge, because it's crafting them into the person that they're called to be. I think, and I know that I want to be someone who chooses over and over, even though this is not natural for me, I don't like it, I get annoyed, I have a hot temper, but I want to choose the pain of discipline in being consistent and showing up for the life that I want to live over the pain of disappointment and regret. Become the person who shows up for this thing even when they're exhausted or spread thin or sick or experiencing failures or fear, because you've also become a person with a steadfast vision that you're so committed to. And you are the type, like the people on this call right now, who stay till the end. That's who you are. You're playing the long game. You're not here for the short wins. And so often, I know we want the strategy. We want to know what's up on Instagram. We want to know how to run a Facebook ad or what our challenge group should be doing. Those things are important, but they're not even secondary. They're like third, fourth, fifth, sixth, just so many other things like this. Start thinking about the characteristics of the person who gets to achieve the things you say you want to achieve. You want to live the life of your dreams? You can't live the life of your dreams as you are today, because if you could, you would be living them. So you have to continually evolve into that person. What are the characteristics of a person who achieves what you say you want to achieve? What are their habits? What time do they get up in the morning? What are their thoughts? You have to learn to control your thoughts. You have to actually shift your beliefs and the narratives that you write on your life. And you have to be the one that says yes to the scary things or the things that you think you cannot do, because that's who you're molding yourself into. So for me in 2020, I think that's the most important thing of all is stepping into that version of you and who that is and what you're called to do and who you're called to be, because you can achieve the goals, you can reach the destination that you want to go to, but if you haven't yet evolved into the person that's capable of maintaining that thing, of keeping that thing sustainable and growing, it's going to be fleeting. So many of us on here have probably experienced it, where we've hit a rank or an income goal, and guess what? It's short-lived because we didn't build it on a foundation of rock. We built it on a foundation of sand because we didn't grow as human beings from the inside out. And I'm not just talking about personal development. So that's what I have to share with you guys. Thank you for taking time to be here tonight. You guys inspire me. Hopping on this call, having it max out, we had to get resourceful. A lot of us were live streaming this into our team pages. But guys, show up for these calls. We're doing our best to bring as much value as we possibly can. Share them with your teams and set goals, but set vision and believe in that vision, and make sure that you're continually becoming that person that you need to be to achieve those things and maintain those things. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for hopping on.